Hey guys, so basically let's focus on the types of platform which we have. Why we are focusing on type of platform? It's very simple that whenever you're going for an application development, right? We should know that for which platform we are going to develop, because every platform has a different type of line of technology which can be utilized to develop an applications. So right now let's see how many type of platforms are existing in the market for which the application is still working. Or the stakeholder comes to you, or the client comes to you and asking you to develop any of the product or their applications. Then they will also tell you for which they are focusing on, which platform they are focusing on. Are they looking for the desktop application, are they looking for the mobile application or web application? So that multiple type of categories of the platforms are available in the market. So let's first list down all the stuff and the line item or all the technologies available to each and every platform. Let's say if someone is asking you to develop the desktop application, we should give the options, and we should know that which technology can be used to develop the desktop application. So those things we will going to discuss today. So let me just draw the lines or the number of things which is available. So let's say we have first desktop application. Yep. Then the second ones we can say mobile, which is very famous right now. Then third one we can say the web applications. And the fourth one we can also say is the progressive web app. Okay, so what is a progressive web app? Might be we can consider a progressive web app is a sub part of the web applications, but yeah, it's also one of the categories which many persons are now looking forward, because it's very famous now. Okay, now there are multiple others as well. I mean, this type of things we already know, right? These are the application type of platform which is available for which the developer needs to develop their application, but there are other platforms also. If I can say is very different example is the console app. You will find this type of detailed console app and all this stuff whenever you are working on some of the project where the shell script and everything is required. So there are multiple type of programming language we can utilize to develop the console application. And very less known thing is embedded. So in embedded, right, embedded system, I think the name is new, but most of the you are already aware about the use case about embedded system. So let me give you the what is the use case and where exactly it can be used. So if you are aware about it, there are some smart home appliances are there, right? So those, and then traffic signals, what we are seeing on the railways or anywhere, right? The traffic signals, road traffic signals and everything has been, well, that platform called as the embedded system. So there are specific type of hardware we are utilizing to develop the embedded system. So that's nothing but the embedded system. Okay, so this all the type of system which is going to be, I mean, used. So let me just give the arrows to have a look. Okay, now see, why we are discussing this thing is also very important, that if someone wants to comes to you and they are asking, hey, I want to develop the Android application, right? So there are multiple options in the market. Doesn't mean that if someone is saying Android application, only the Java or the Kotlin can able to help you to develop the Android application. If someone comes to you and say, I want to develop the Android application as well as the Apple or MacBook application or iOS application, then you need to understand, right, which technology can be utilized to reduce the minimum or reduce the efforts as well as the cost, right? Because if you are giving that, hey, I will develop separate application for Windows, I will develop separate application for iOS, I will try to create a separate application for Android, then it would be a problematic scenario. You are increasing the cost and the time as well for developing the project. So we need to keep everything in our mind, that someone comes to you with the requirement, then you need to understand that which programming language needs to be finalized. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier in the previous video, if you are not looking into it, just go through and watch it again. I have highlighted one specific point each and every time, that solution has to be something based on that problem statement. You need to define the technology. If you are aware about some technology, doesn't mean that every solution or every problem statement which you are going to solve, it should be belongs to the same technology. Okay, it won't be same, it will change. Yeah, so yeah, we have to look into this action item. There is another type of things as well which we are not touched right now, that is a data science. Okay, the data science is totally different topic, but yeah, in the further videos, if everything goes well and we are able to complete all the stuff on the time, we are also going to touch on the data science, which is very famous. And there are some different type of architecture and the programming, not the programming I can say, but the library which can be utilized to develop those things. Yeah, now if I can go to the each and every time, right, let's say if I want to develop the desktop application, then what are the options we have? Let's focus on that thing. If you have to develop the desktop application, the very one first programming language we can say Java. Yeah, so Java is very famous programming language if anyone knows about it. But in the Java, see, Java is very big topic. Okay, it doesn't mean each and Java every topics are supporting into the, to develop desktop application. So in Java specifically, Spring is to make, see, desktop is all about GUI, right, how you will create a graphical user interface for the your desktop. So Spring was very not a Spring, sorry, my bad, it's a Swing. Swing is very good GUI type of interface which was provided earlier. Someone might aware about it, but yeah, I'm not sure that everyone's heard their name. If time permits, then we will go in touch into it. So why I'm saying, right, Java is very variety of the things. I'm just giving you the high level idea. Okay, Java has a three category: Java, SE, Standard Edition, Enterprise Edition, and Machine Learning Edition. So this all the three categories which we had in the Java, and each and every category has a different type of functionalities as well. So you need to understand you belongs to which category. If you know only high level Java, the core functionality like inheritance, polymorphism, there are some topics, if you are not aware about it, just ignore it, we'll discuss. But yeah, this high level topics belongs to Java Standard Edition. It is not an Enterprise Edition, not an Machine Learning Edition. So just to give you overall idea that yeah, this Java Swing is using for the desktop application. As well as if you are aware, then C# is also very famous tool, which programming language specifically, which can be utilized for the Windows. I mean, if you're developing some application on Windows, then you can go with the C# type of as well. Now then other thing is Python can be used for that. See, Python, as I mentioned, right, each and every programming language which I am listing down here, right, it has a special type of forms, okay, special ways to implement the desktop application. So if you're going with the desktop application and following this programming language, you need to understand each and every whatever the functionality or forms which we are following has some limitation. Let's say if you're developing something using C#, right, then it would be might be possible C# is using WPF. Okay, it's a Windows presentation fundamentals. So if you're going with it, then there are some very common problems which you will see in the future. So you need to understand in that direction as well. Okay, you got my point. Now let's move to the next part. The Python, as I mentioned, the Python also has some specific type of library. If I can just list down that library name, it's Tkinter and the pqt. Yeah. Now let's say which one is the fourth one. Now the main thing, if you notice over here, right, I talked about, let me add one more thing, Swing. Okay, now not a Swing, I can say Swift. Swift is using for Mac OS. Yeah, I think this name you might heard about it. So whenever you are saying that Mac OS applications which you are downloading from store, right, App Store, even the iOS, right, even the iOS development, which we will cover into mobile application part, but that is using Swift, a special type of programming language, Unix based programming language which has been developed or like created by the Apple itself. So yeah, so this all the specialized type of programming language available for the desktop. But now one question you might occur, right, hey, if someone comes to me and saying, hey Smith, I want to create one application which works on the Mac OS, Linux OS, three type of OS majority, right? Mac, Linux, and the Windows. So if someone comes to me and say, hey Sumit, I want to develop an application for all the three platforms, so which one I should go for? So as I mentioned, you should choose the solutions or choose the programming language based on your problem statement. If you notice, you want to develop the three common uh, like platform where to develop the application, right? You might choose Electron as a solution. There are some limitation as well. It says it provide the common type of platform, then it might have some limitation where they cannot access the internal resources, then the process is not that much fast, but still there is some common programming language, or we can say the type of framework which is there available for us. It's nothing but the Electron. Yeah, and main benefit using Electron is basically it's using JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Yeah, so you can develop some very good looking application from it, because CSS is very powerful. We'll see why it's fire powerful and how you can create such a good type of application. But yeah, you got my point, right? That Electron is a common which you can write an application which will work on all the platforms, whether it's a Windows, Linux, or whatever it is. Yeah, there are multiple others as well. Golang, if you are aware about it, I'm not listing now, but I will put one link in the description, okay, or one PDF. I will upload it over the description where you will find all the information. Okay, I mean all the things which we are discussing over here, the list of the technologies all will be there into the document. Yeah, after watching this video, please go and have a look into that document. Yeah, now let's comes to the another type of application. Like say if someone comes to you and saying, hey Sumit, I want to develop some mobile applications. So now I first question from my side, hey, what is your target audience? Are you targeting the Android and iOS both, or you want to develop the application on only specific to the Android? Yeah, so if they say, hey, I want to develop on, let's say, Android, then what is the solution for us? What type of things we have for Android? So for Android, right, we have the same thing, that for Android we have like one you can write in the Java, and one second will be Kotlin. Kotlin now onwards is very famous. That needs to be understand. It's very famous type of thing which available in Android. Same Android Studio, you don't have to download the separate applications where you can run the applications or create an application. You don't have to download separate IDE for that. Android Studio will take care about it. But yeah, so this is the Android. When you're developing Android, Java and Kotlin, one of the programming language, you should aware about it. And second, as we know, the platform is iOS. In iOS, which type of, as I mentioned, Swift as well as Objective-C. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about that. C also has a different versions. C also has a different version. So one of the version is Objective-C. Okay, so this programming language is also works for the iOS application. Now you are like thinking that we just have two platforms, but let me tell you one important thing as well, that no, we have another type of OS is also present in the market, which is KaiOS. Okay, so when I'm saying KaiOS, right, it also follows the same HTML CSS one, so don't worry about it. So KaiOS will be taking care about it. If I can give you the idea where exactly it is using, so if you aware about that keypad mobiles where you are typing your small screen and just keypad is there for using cellular call and everything, the app what you have seen there, it's basically most of the app mobiles are using KaiOS. Yeah, now let's go to the another which is very famous, everyone is focusing on that right now, which is nothing but the web application and progressive web app. Yeah, but yeah, first, as I've given you one example, right, if I desktop application, the Electron is one of the common programming language you can utilize to develop an application throughout the platform. Any platform you are running the application, Electron will work. It's the same way in mobile also we have an option. Okay, It doesn't mean that mobile you have to, there is no common programming languages available to develop an application, but just to make sure whatever the common programming language is available or the framework is available, it has some limitation. Okay, it is not the perfect where you can access the internal resources. If I give you the idea, right, let's take an example given in the earlier video as well. If you want to develop some games, or let's say some application which is which is very based on the processor oriented, where your processor is playing very important role and you have to create multiple threads, multiple background tasks and multiple store sites, you need to handle it. So the core functionality cannot be used using this third party or the platform independent programming language, or we can also say the cross platform programming language. You got my point? Yeah. So for the cross platform, here we have one popular React Native. Okay, now second one is very also very popular, and it's backed by the Google, specifically React Native backed by the Facebook, but Flutter, as you, I think someone already guessed their name. We'll touch the Flutter because it's very interesting topic which we have to touch as a developer point of view. Always like developed by Google, right? So there are some important features is always there. Then the phone gap is also there, which is not that much famous right now, but yeah, the community is very good for the phone gap as well. So there are some examples here, cross platform programming language you can utilize and develop an application for all the threes. Their iOS application, Android or iOS, all the three will work over here, but just to understand the limitation as well after understanding it. Now let's move forward and have a look on to the web application, very big topic. So in the web application, if I go into the depth, so there are multiple options which we have available in web development. So in web development, or we can say there is one important thing. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the mobile application or the desktop application, where there is two options to develop it. One is like very simple, that everything will be stored into your desktop. There is no server side communication will happen. Whatever, let's say if you're creating one file, right, it is storing in your machines. It is not storing somewhere into another server or another place basically. So for the same reason, right, even the web application is something which is storing into the server level. Okay, you are just trying to access from the browser or the engine, weird engine or some engine who can run that applications. So for that, right, there are multiple type of partitioning which we have. So there will be the front end technology and back end technology. Okay, when I'm saying front end technology, simple, just writing simple name right now. Then the React.js, Angular. See, this might be, you can say, is not a technology library, some of the frameworks, but these are all our specific way to implement. So we currently, let's focus as part of the technology. Maybe if you can say the React.js is a library, it's not a technology or not a programming language specifically. Okay, so we can utilize that thing as the only library perspective, but here let's consider as a technology because we have to learn, right? Angular has also different thing. AngularJS, after AngularJS there will be the only Angular. So we will touch also the previous version, why someone comes and change it, that is also important. TypeScript is also part of the front end technology. In the back end, right, in backend it's very simple. Okay, backend will be like whatever the stuff I'm writing, might be you will not agree with me, but yeah, we'll go in each and every backend technology into upcoming videos and understand how this technologies has been used and what are the limitation as well. But we'll going depth into the Java program, Python, then we can use PHP as well, we can use Node.js, we can use ASP.NET. So this there are some may go be used for it. So these are all the example for the backend technology. Yeah, and progressive web app, we'll touch this point later on, but not in this video because it's very interesting topic. Let me highlight this as a green color because progressive web app, if you develop, right, just giving you the example, if you are aware about it, you can create a shortcut of the application which store into your mobile application in one icon, and you click on that icon, whole the application is work as an app perspective, or in the iOS we have a clips. Yeah, so this type of thing is nothing but the PFA which you can convert easily, but your system has been developed such a way, or your website or web application developed in such a way that should adapt the PWAs. There are some manifest and everything file should be there to make sure your current web application is converted. But yeah, so this is all. But first of all, if I can give you the high level idea, don't if you're not able to understand right now the text and what are the things I'm going to giving you, don't worry, we'll touch each and every terminology in detail and how it is working, yeah, in upcoming videos. So console app, already given example that how you can develop, but here if I can just write it down, what are the technology you can utilize to develop the console application. So the first and most C# can be used, shell script can be used for develop console application. Now if someone wants to understand that, hey, I want to develop the embedded application, embedded system, then how you will going to develop the, like, what are the options we have for the embedded system. So in embedded, right, I think let's not go into depth because there are some assembly level and everything will be also there. High level, yeah, don't want to do it, it's fine. HTML, CSS and JS can also help you, but yeah, if you want to deep down on the Raspberry Pi, not aware about it, ignore it, no, don't worry, we'll touch in detail. Okay, and we have to create a project also in Raspberry Pi, that's what ultimate plan is. But yeah, that's what the things I want to discuss with you today, that each and every platform has the different programming language. So if some problem statement comes to you, you need to go through each and everything that, hey, this solution I can go for the Python because Python has this functionality which will improve our performance, as well as development time also will be reduced. So if the development time is reduced, the cost will also goes down because it's directly proportional. Until unless you are using some opens or the infrastructure differently, that's a different story. You got my point? Thank you so much for your time, guys. Again, please go through the document which is on the link right now and understand things. Then once we start understanding the solutions, problem statement, and find out the solution, and then we will see in the next video that how you will finalize that which technology suits for which process. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.